Okay. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
It is Wednesday, April 1st, 2026. I'd like to call this meeting of the town board, of the town of Northeast to order. It's 5:30 PM. I'd like to ask you to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible.
liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'm not going
So Warren's on there.
to, okay. Hold on, he is here. Let's see whether we can get this going. No signal. Let's see whether we can find a place to plug this in. All right, well,
That side, does that work?
this is what needs to get plugged in. And, hold on, you're right, it's one of these little guys, and they make this thing. Is it that?
Yep. Should be.
Okay. There we go.
There it is.
All right. Warren, can you hear us?
Yes,
Yeah.
I can hear you. I'm sorry.
Okay, great.
I
right.
guess not. I guess I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
You can't?
I can hear. Everything's
You can
fine.
hear. Okay, good. Okay, Tilly, could you conduct a roll call
Yes, Supervisor Kevin,
here?
Councilman Mayville,
Here.
Councilwoman Morrison.
Here.
Councilwoman Winkler,
Here.
Councilwoman Cole.
Okay. So I have distributed this agenda such as it is, and I'd like to ask for a motion to accept the agenda.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so this is the first of what we hope will be, whether they are regular or, as needed, occasional extra meetings of the town board to give us a chance to talk about things. It is a workshop meeting, so it is different from our regular meetings. We will not have a meeting with council at the end of this. But we have a couple of things we want to talk about, and that's what we have. And why don't we start with the grant requests?
Oh, sure.
And Rochelle, you had brought this up. I think it's important that we do it and talk about it.
All right.
We appreciate the grants that we've gotten. They've helped us do a lot of things, and
Sure.
so
New York Forward, which Chris brought to my attention last fall. This is an annual award from Governor Hochul. Last year's, I'll just start with the timing. Last year's funding was announced the beginning of September. Applications were due 2 months later, so early November. I'm assuming the timing will be approximately the same this year. And so the subject of the awards, there are 2 signature initiatives. One is Downtown Revitalization Initiative, which seems like it goes more toward urban downtowns. I want to get more into that. Our focus initially will be just on New York Forward, which is for more for smaller and rural communities, with a focus on hamlets and villages. It is to support the revitalization of the downtown. And last year they gave 100 million to 6 communities. And the downtown revitalization gave 100 million to 10 communities. That, and let's see, I don't know if you want me to get into the kinds of things, Chris, that you suggested it might help to fund. Wastewater, sidewalks, streetscape infrastructure, Eddie Collins Field, Northeast Community Center, Mini House. So it's a competitive grant, and as you noted, there has never been one awarded to a community in Dutchess County, so it would be great if we're the first. This is going to be a heavy lift, and it would involve us working with the village. We would have to come up with a plan. We'd have to develop a strategic investment plan that includes a vision for the downtown and transformative projects based on community outreach and input. So this is a process. It seems like we have a long runway, but my suggestion is if we're interested in pursuing it, we should start the ball rolling with the village, start meeting with interested parties, and perhaps set up some sort of, ad hoc committee for this one grant, and get moving on it. So.
Do we know that funding is available for 26?
Well, it's been funded, so I don't see why it wouldn't, but there's always that chance. Our pro-housing community designation gives us a leg up. That is one of the things that's required.
And the village just got theirs, so
Okay.
that's positive for us
Okay.
jointly.
And related to this, they had a page on decarbonization. And so with the assistance of NYSERDA, the state, the New York Forward would contribute to support building decarbonization. And we could dig down into that and see if we want to pursue dollars for greening New Town Hall. I'm not sure what our square footage is that comes into play. It would have to be over 5,000 square feet for the renovation project. We could get money.
Mhm.
I don't see why we wouldn't go after it. There's of course some work involved in the application, but
So the downtown revitalization, the DRI funds have been intended for larger
yeah.
communities. And I think while they have given one to a village, I'm told, it wasn't their goal.
Yeah.
And the city of Poughkeepsie did get one. I don't know how much they've done with it yet, but they did actually get one. And so there has been that grant, which has been given in
Mhm.
Dutchess County.
Mhm.
The New York Forward grant has not, to the best of my knowledge, they have not given one. And that was intended for smaller communities like ours. When we looked at it last year, and as you said, we just didn't have enough time to do it. It would require, working certainly with the village. I think the focus of it would be on the village. So I think the village piece of it would be the main piece of it. Um, I think that where we are with the wastewater project, that by the time this grant is announced, we're gonna be,
Right.
we will have, the funding that we will have will be pretty much in place. And I don't know whether additional funding a year later can be used for it. I just wouldn't want to make that guess. But there's certainly a lot of things that the village, could use, and particularly in terms of, first of all, sidewalks, streetscapes, and so on and so forth. But also the renovation of old buildings that are, would have some municipal use. If the old train station ever came up, it would be, that would be exactly the kind of thing that it would be perfect for, and so, I think it's really interesting, as you said, it's a lot of work, but it's, some of the work is just in figuring out of what the game plan is, who needs to do what. A lot of it is as I looked at other towns that have won it, about getting a lot of community support, a lot of community enthusiasm, a lot of social media posts about it. And so I think in terms, and then, the other piece is actually figuring out what would we use the money for. If I remember right, you don't have to actually say it is for this building. The second floor will be done this way. In other words, I think it's a little bit more general.
You don't have to drill it.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to drill down that.
So I think it will
But you do
be,
need a plan.
we need a
You
plan.
need a plan.
When I talked about it with the village, there was a lot of interest. Katie Cariello was very interested in that at the time. And what I remember the village saying, and when I talked to the mayor, was this is an interesting thing. They thought it was worth pursuing, and let's look at next year, meaning this year.
Right.
So I think what would be good for us would be to approach the village and see, because again, it's going to be mostly the village.
Right.
I don't think you could say renovating our new town hall is going to be it. That's not in the middle of a walkable neighborhood. There's no, it's a project, but you can't just sort of have a specific project like that. It's got to be community enhancement, so on.
What about sidewalk works for the Boulevard District?
Side, I think that,
extend that.
I think that could be absolutely part of it. I think that would be great. We've talked about sidewalks out there, and that would be great. As the village has learned, sidewalks are incredibly expensive. The cost per yard it seems bizarre, but anyway, no, I think that'd be great.
Is that a matching grant or is it standalone?
I don't see a match.
Okay.
No, I think it's a flat out grant.
Right. So I don't know, if you want me to approach the village, if you want to approach the village, it seems like it's not too early to at least start discussing. And I know they have a lot on their plate. If you're gonna do it, it's April, it seems early, but it's
No,
not early.
it's not too early. I mean, I'd be happy to go there, be happy to go there with you and just
Okay,
see what they think.
Yeah.
And, as we discussed a certain amount of it, there's a certain amount of legwork and organizing, which is kind of desk work actually, that's involved in it. So,
well, there's that, and there's an outreach piece of this.
Mm.
They want the community to, I don't know if it would be a survey or, how that would work, but they want community involvement.
Yeah. Well, I think we should look at it sort of as I say, in the cold light of day, and see whether we have the bandwidth to take it on, because I think that's, the other thing which I feel about grants is that they're great when they don't kill us
That's right.
because of the
There's always work
various
at the end
other
of it.
requirements.
Right. And the other one I am looking at I don't know if it's realistic. The application is due May 13th, and this is for a Dutchess County Municipal Investment Grant. And it has two initiatives. One is infrastructure and safety and security. The other is municipal homelessness. So infrastructure and safety and security would be the municipal buildings and facilities and fire stations, and community gathering spaces. General capital infrastructure to existing facilities, roof, windows, doors, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, security, furniture, fixtures, and appliances. And then public facilities such as parks. Purchase of generators and critical infrastructure, ADA improvements, accessibility, safety upgrades, metal detector circulation, access control. There is a maximum request of 25,000, and there's 100% match, which they do not allow in-kind services, so that would be dollar for dollar. You know,
For the town hall, that sounds like a great opportunity, especially because, I mean, one of the reasons we needed it also because this is not ADA, this building. And then we do have so many of those projects going on, you know, there, whether, you know, HVAC or a
Generator.
generator updating it, and 25,000, if I think, you know, you know, that would be a difficult thing to match.
I think this, I mean, the application is due fairly soon, like 5 or 6 weeks. So I think we should jump on this. I don't see it downside.
Do you want to come back to us with a list of things that you think would be the things that we would be looking for? I mean, I think if they will pay for some of the things that would be at the new town hall, I think that would be
Yeah.
great. I don't know, knowing the county, they may want a finished design. Yeah, we need to know that because we're not quite there yet. But that's pretty easy to find out.
But also HVAC, and those are like the components, right? So we have a bid ready, and it sounds like a really interesting opportunity. If it's not too much work for.
I will run with it, and I can come back next, if you want, next week. I mean, I don't want to really.
Let's,
Linger.
let's look at it during the week. You know, if we can, when is it due?
May 13th.
Okay.
So a little bit more than a month.
I think if that can help us with, the new town hall in terms of, you know, the HVAC, that kind of thing, I think that'd be great.
I don't know, you know, what the competition is or, you know, how that works, but.
Yeah,
At least it's Dutchess County.
yeah, well,
Versus the whole state.
as I think you all know, it was MIG grants from the county that paid for a significant portion of the highway garage.
Yeah.
So, okay,
Great.
that'd be great. And, you know, speaking of the highway garage, obviously, you know, the passing of Bob Stevens is something that has been impacting all of us here at Town Hall very much. And, you know, I know that his son there's no memorial or gathering being planned, but one of the thoughts that has been suggested is that there could be a plaque honoring Bob, which could be affixed to the highway garage, and I think that is a great idea and would be very appropriate. I think he would like actually that. And so, you know, I'd like to look into that, come back to the board with something like that. Okay, thank you. Let me just see how we are. I want to spend a little bit of time just talking about, and this is where I want to get Warren involved. Talking about the new town hall renovation, we have Councilwoman Winkler and I have met with Land, the architects for the building. And they, there is a design which we have at the moment for a layout. I don't think it is final. I think we're going to still be making some changes to it. One of the questions that I've got and that I thought it'd be good to get Warren's input on is if there are ways that we can take some portion of this project and do some preliminary work, which we could contract out ahead of time. And if there's some demo work that we could do, there are toilets that need to be removed, sinks that need to be removed. This is not complicated work. It is something that can be done locally and potentially at a very different cost than putting it into the big project, which goes out for, prevailing wage contracts and so on. Warren, what's your recommendation to us? Would it be to go back to Land and ask them what they could do? Is there a dollar threshold at which we can break out some portion of this project?
Yeah, I don't see any. I have to talk to Lan about it because I'm not that familiar with the all of the plans that have been developed at this stage, and to see whether it makes sense to contract out the some of the demolition work or all of the demolition work prior to the major project, and what would have to be done to prepare it for the actual renovation of the building. So I can do that and get back to you as to what the process may be. And I'm not. I don't know whether it would, be subject. I'm pretty sure it would be considered a public work project. So I think we do have issues with regard to prevailing wage that have to be resolved. But I can discuss that with Lan and find out the scope of the work and if there's any way to save some money and put this out initially prior to the more formidable construction work. That sounds like it's a good idea. So
they had mentioned that they could prepare a demo plan
Right.
also, because, they're itemizing things anyway for us. But they could do that, and maybe that's good for you to see too.
So when we get that, Warren, we're going to get a demo plan from Lan. And of course, that's just a plan, and we could say we like it or we like half of it. In other words, I think they're going to list everything that would need to be demoed in the building, and there are some walls and there's some other things, and that's part of their estimate for what it will cost to do this. And so I want to find ways of looking at different pieces of this that we can, take on ourselves and obviously like to get going with this as soon as we can.
Because some of them are lower cost items, like removing the bathroom fixtures or the cabinets, or even if we said get rid of the platform, or then there's the whole flooring is another thing, but maybe it can be itemized to do it.
So Warren, we'll
we expect the demo plan. Were they going to prepare that?
We're waiting for it. I think we'll have it any day.
Oh, okay. All right. As soon as you get that, send that over to me and let me look at it, and I'll discuss it with Lan and see what our options are. But it sounds like a good idea to jump on this. Once you start moving on the project, you'll feel more compelled to get into the nitty-gritty of the renovation.
Yeah, well, one of the things that I want to do is make sure that we are talking about this project at, as many of our meetings as we can. It just too much time has gone by, and now I think we're ready to move forward with it. So,
Can I ask a question?
yes.
Can we have a demo plan without final plans?
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, I
We
mean,
can.
it's-
Okay.
it's a list of things that will need to be demoed.
Okay,
We can take it and say, you know what, we don't like this, this, and this. It's not a plan that would be put out,
I see,
It-
okay.
it's really a list of everything that will need to be demoed. And one of the things that I want to do is to work with them and say, are there some things here that are, low hanging fruit, sort of easier ones? And,
Yeah, like the
Right.
plumbing, it's.
yeah,
It's plumbed in, but they need to make the bathrooms, ADA. All those old fixtures just have to be removed and the partitions have to be removed. So we have to do that anyway around, so things like that.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so I will, when we get the list of the demo items, I'll certainly, distribute them to the board so that everybody can look at them. And so we can do that. There was one other item that I thought would be worth actually having a conversation about, and then you all may have other items you want to talk about. Certainly one would be on what kind of schedule do we want to have these additional meetings? Do we want that to be on a repeating basis or more of an as needed basis or an every 3-month basis? Or, I'm interested in everybody's ideas.
I mean, I was thinking if we were to do the next one, it's almost, at this point, maybe better to just like propose a bunch of dates for the month of May, versus saying like every Wednesday at, on a certain day. Or
I want, if we're gonna do this on a regular basis, I'd like us to pick like, say, the second Wednesday or the first Wednesday
That's
or.
fine with me too.
Cause I want to plan, I don't want to have to work around each month what I'm,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
If we're gonna do it, I'd rather have some kind of a schedule.
If we have
And
this-
think about what works for you. You like to go away the last half of it after a
Yeah.
meeting. So Mondays look like they're free. It looks like maybe the third Wednesday.
that's planning
We-
board, right? Or no, it depends where the month falls.
It depends on where the month
I
falls.
can't do a second Wednesday because I have another commitment, but other than that, Wednesdays work all right for me. Mondays look pretty open over there.
So the
Well, I
planning
would
board
like-
is the second and if needed, the fourth, but
We're
it's,
not till 7:30 if we do it. at
yes, so we
5:30.
could actually
Do
do
'em at
something in the
5:30?
same, yeah, because we're certainly not gonna go that long.
I would love to have it in the calendar, and then if we decide we don't need it,
Yeah,
Right.
to,
same.
to.
But I'd like it to be,
Set.
Does it
I
make-
don't
Set.
want every
Does it-
month to try to wrangle.
Does it make sense, like, just looking at, I'm looking at behind your head, Chris, sorry. But, like this month, like we have next Tuesday. And then in 2 weeks would be the 22nd, like a Wednesday. Does it make sense to try to do it for like the 22nd for us?
we're doing it this
We-
month.
we
Yeah.
already have-
We're not gonna
this
have
is
3 a
today.
month.
Oh, that's true,
Yeah.
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 It's just the way the month,
Yeah.
Let's not get
Sorry.
crazy here.
well, I'm not trying to be crazy. I'm just looking at,
Well,
how
what
the
about
months
first
fall.
The first Wednesday of the month, yeah.
Okay,
it's the 6th.
Is
Yeah.
that-
I mean, that's fine.
and that way we can plan our other activities around it.
Mhm.
Well, and then our board meeting, our business meeting
Right.
is the next week, so it'll be fresh.
Right.
So,
conversation.
I think what I will do then is if this makes sense to everybody, is we will announce that we will have, we'll put that on the schedule.
Mhm.
But I would like to, at least a week beforehand, send out something to the board saying,
Yeah, an agenda.
what do you have? And
Yeah.
if I get nothing back, we would, if there's just simply nobody has anything they want to talk about, we could cancel
Okay,
That's great.
okay, good. So we're going with the first Wednesdays, right?
it, right, which is what
5:30,
we're on
right?
today.
5:30 works for
Yeah.
everyone, yeah?
Yeah. Okay, one other item I wanted to talk about is what, and this is where I wanted to get some input from,
We have to ask Warren if he can do that same time.
if we want him at
At the
those
workshop,
ones
okay,
as well.
all
So
right.
Warren, we're talking about having an additional meeting on the first Wednesday of the month at 5:30. I don't know that we would need you to be at all of them, but is that a time that sometimes would be available for you?
Yes, that would work for me. Yeah, and some of the meetings, if I need to attend personally, I'll do that. Or some may be by Zoom, but it should be fine.
Okay. All right. One other thing that I wanted just to mention is that we've talked about noise issues before. And some board members may not remember, but there was an attempt to pass a noise law in the town. This is before I was on the board, so it was quite a while ago. But it was pretty resoundingly defeated. There were a lot of people who said, I insist on my right, whether it's to fire, to shoot guns or to crank up the chainsaw and start cutting. So that did not go anywhere. But since then, we get complaints, which Tilly dutifully reads into the minutes from people concerned about noise from the gun club. But we also get from time to time complaints from people who live out in town who complain about a neighbor of theirs who's just shooting all day long. And we live in a part of the world where that is, where there are large properties and where the right of people to do that has been historic. But Warren, could you just, and I'm not really wanting to talk specifically about the gun club today, but I'm wondering whether in your experience, towns have passed ordinances which can help with just random gunfire when it becomes really, obtrusive to neighboring properties.
Yeah, that could be done. I mean, the town, we don't have a noise ordinance, right?
Correct.
We tried to do that a few years ago, I remember, and it was not well received by the public. The best way to do it would be to have some sort of noise ordinance. Dealing with the gun club is a little bit more problematic because they're not located in the town, right? They're located in the village.
They're located in the town.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they are. Okay. Why did I think they were in the village?
Because one might think that they were in the village. They're so close.
Dealing with,
We did.
Yeah.
We talked about it.
yeah.
Yeah,
We did start working.
and they're a non-conforming use.
Right.
It wouldn't be permitted under our current zoning law, but there are definitely ways of controlling non-conforming uses. And I have done over the years one or two memos outlining those available laws that we could consider. So I think it's probably better for me to pull those out and send a copy to everybody, and then we can discuss it. But yeah, I mean, this is something, even non-conforming uses you can control. So it's not something without a remedy.
Yeah.
So where's the responsibility of enforcement for something like that fall on?
Okay. The question, I don't know if you could hear that, Warren, but the question was, if we did have a law, let's say, that said no shooting after 5 o'clock in the evening anywhere, who, and then there was a complaint about shooting after 5 o'clock, who would enforce that? Is that something where, is that a building department thing, or does one call the sheriff?
But if we were to do a law, we would have to have a provision in the laws how how it's enforced. So it may be that it's enforced through our zoning administrator or zoning enforcement officer. And we can also make it a violation of the penal law and the town code. So you can criminally charge someone who's violating a local law that we pass. There are a lot of options for enforcement. That's not a problem. The problem is with noise, it's always trying to measure the noise level and to what extent it exceeds what you're putting in the law, what parameters you're going to create in the law. You don't want to have impossible burdens to meet. I drafted one for the town of Rhinebeck about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. I can pull that out. We spent a lot of time on that. Of course, it was a little bit contentious. I can get that to you. I think I also prepared a noise law for Northeast. We went as far as having public hearings on it, and I'll pull that out also. And we can start with that and see what we can do. But definitely, not even non-conforming uses can be regulated. So it's something that we can control.
Okay.
In our current ordinances, just on ATVs, for example, and use of it within 500 feet of another person's property, and that the rule is you call the police. And that's in our current ordinances, because I had a situation years ago when I found it in there. And there was one other situation, but it's not specifically about, it's more illegally using vehicles on other people's property kind of thing. But the rule is call the police and that law enforcement. And as for noise, I mean, I think the gun club could be one aspect. And then if we do more research for the town as general, I would be interested in approaching it two-pronged, because we talk about the gun club, like maybe not Sundays after a certain time or on Saturdays. And enforcement really is, to me, if someone shoot, it's not about the noise level. If the rule is you can't shoot after 6 p.m. on Sundays or whatever, and someone's shooting, the person's in direct violation.
Well, I think there are two different things.
Yeah,
And frankly, with the gun club, if there was, the first thing you would do is call the gun club and say, you know, we've got a rule, you know, there isn't one at the moment, but I do think that they would, they have a rule that there's no shooting after sundown. And that is posted.
Oh, it's up there right now?
Oh, yeah, it's posted in big letters. It's gonna, yeah, so anyway.
Okay.
But
And there are state regulations too that apply to use of firearms. So the 500-foot limit, I think, is in the state regulation. So there's a lot of existing regulations that can be brought to bear on offenders. So I'll put all that together for you.
All right. That would be great. Anything else?
So the only thing I had, or the personnel committee had, is we had brought up some recommended changes to the handbook a few meetings ago. So not hearing any feedback, I'm thinking we're okay to draft those changes, or?
I think it would be great if we could see a draft of the changes and distribute them to the board. And, you know, then.
Right, because we're already in April.
Yeah.
We gotta get going with it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, no,
All right.
I think everybody is eager to see a draft of what they would look like.
All right. So we will move forward with that now that we've got the
Good.
confirmation from everybody.
And then, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
When will we have the next red line draft to our zoning revisions? Because are we going over that on the 9th?
It arrived today.
And
Oh, great,
it's on
great.
the website.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
on the
there
announcements
today.
Yeah.
and on
Okay,
the town
great.
clerk page.
Thank you.
Yes. Are we gonna do number 6?
No.
Okay.
Actually, that's a very quick report, and I already made it to the town board, but we were able to place a bond for to roll the vans that we have out for the financing of the highway garage, and that got placed. and the Bank of Millbrook is taking it, and so it's really good news, and it came in below what we had planned for, which will over time be a significant savings to the town. Okay, I think we'll look forward to seeing you all again next week. I think the agenda for that meeting looks fair, at the moment, looks compared with recent meetings. We'll obviously have discussion of the zoning revisions, but beyond that, I don't see a big pile of things to bring up. Actually, one thing and I sent this to Chris. The county is looking for us to finish up our work on our hazard mitigation plan, which you did a lot of work on. I'm not sure it's the exact same thing that.
It looked pretty different, which is why I said I'll review it with what we had put together, just
Yeah.
to know any changes. But
All
I'll
right,
have
they
that.
sent us a draft basically of what they want
The
us to do,
resolution.
so we should take a look at that. They want the town board to approve it.
Yeah.
And they need that because they need to send it to FEMA. And when it gets sent to FEMA, and all the municipalities in the county have to do it. So we're not the last, but when that gets done, we are then eligible for FEMA funding if there were to be a disaster, something that,
So it really is disaster related.
it is
Okay.
very much disaster related.
So yeah, I'll know any revisions and send it to everybody by Friday so we can.
Okay,
Look
and
at it
if,
and
and if
talk
there are
about
two
it.
different things, we'll make that really clear as well.
Yeah.
Because it may be two different things we're talking about.
Because the other thing we need to do until, we've been working with that on the website updates and working with Tilly. She's on the to-do list was to work with PCA to do the action, what is that officially called? The law that something has to be in place, like if we had a breach, a data breach. So by law, we have to have an action plan. And before it was just contact the town clerk. So PCA, that was on their list when we engaged with them. So that would just.
Cybersecurity?
Yeah,
Yeah.
cybersecurity action plan for breaches. So
And they have examples of that.
they do, yeah. And I mean, number one, for us, all of us, we just know we're supposed to call them immediately. But Tilly's, as far as I know, and you did it in your training, right? Like, we have to have it published and, yeah.
Does Lorna know that that's mandatory training for
Is
the
what?
town, the cybersecurity?
Yeah, we've
Does
all
she
been
know
doing.
now?
Yeah, we've all
Now,
been.
no? No.
Yeah, anybody who's using a computer in the town hall has to do because of
Yeah,
NYMER.
so
No.
town board is not
Yeah.
required to do that because you do
Yes.
not use a computer here at town hall.
Right.
I had to do it, and,
I did it.
okay, well,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with doing
It's
it.
very interesting. I mean, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, so we're all doing
Yeah,
it.
you-
Lauren is keeping the
Okay.
certificates
All right.
for insurance purposes mainly, yeah. Mhm.
All right. If there's nothing else, then I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
I
All right. Thank you all
Next
very
week.
much. Okay, thank you,
Bye.
Warren.
Happy